Madden 07 on the PlayStation 2 is considered one of the greatest Maddens of all time, and today I wanted to take a look at the game modes and the main features that this game has that the modern day Madden just cannot compete with. Here I'm just going to go through the rosters, and you guys can feel free to pause to see who the top guys in Madden 07 were. But in Madden 24, the draft class bug is still there, where each player has the same exact physique as, you know, a guy that's 350 pounds has the same physique as a guy who is 200 pounds. Therefore, I'm still waiting to start my franchise on Madden 24, and maybe I can start a series here on Madden 07. I thought about the idea of doing a series on Madden 06, not Madden 06, but NCAA 06, and maybe doing a dynasty. But maybe we could do something here on Madden 07, but you guys will have to let me know which mode you guys like more, and then we can consider it. Here are a look at the game modes. The two game modes I'm talking about in specific are NFL Superstar and Franchise Mode. Those are the two game modes that we will take a look at today. But you also have the NFL Network game mode, Tournament, which I wish they would have in this one. It's kind of like a playoff where, you know, you can sit down with your buddies and play a tournament. Nowadays, not a lot of people are playing video games at home with their friends. They're just playing online. So there's really no need for it. But it was a great game mode that you could have a lot of fun with back in the day. And then you have mini games, which they brought back in today's Madden. Then you have practice mode, which is pretty self-explanatory, but I want to take a look at NFL Superstar mode first. Here it says you can import your NCAA Football 07 legend. I don't have 07, I do have 06, and I do have Madden 06. That's something we could think about. We could start it at the college level and then bring it to Madden. That would be pretty cool, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to start with a new character. So here we are with the creation of our character here. So you can go on here, you can change their face type and everything like that, and there are plenty of faces to choose from. I mean, I'm in the 80s and there's still plenty of faces. I mean, you could pick anything that you want. I'm not going to spend all day going through, but I do want to see how many faces do they have. They have 136 different face types, which we'll pick the guy with the mullet here. And then it has best position choice as punter. Does that change when you get a new set of parents? It does. So here's a guy left outside linebacker, and you can see your father and your mother have different things about them, different bios that then make up who you are. So your dad is an NFL referee, your mom is an airline attendant. I want to keep going until I get a halfback here. Here's a quarterback here. We don't know his name yet, but your father is a high school quarterback, Civil War buff, IQ is 112. Your mother is a physical therapist, she loves cooking, and her IQ is 126. I'm going to keep going until I find a halfback. Here we go. Your father was a high school running back. He likes cooking. His IQ is 148. He's smart. Your mom's smart. 148 is her IQ. And then you have that she likes baseball cards and she's a corporate executive. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go ahead with this guy right here. And we can change his name. We'll just change his name to Ben Jones. This is going to be the guy's name. And then from there, we'll get into the combine and everything else. We'll keep it at 5'8", 255 pounds. He's out of Texas. Number 20 is his preferred number. And here you go. You can adjust your player's body type and his build. So I'll do that. And once I complete that, we'll advance. So I'm noticing he was 5'8", 255 pounds, I do believe. So he is a big guy. You can see it. He's got a big gut. So as I create this guy and create his build, you know, one thing that we wanted to talk about was the fact that Madden 24 continues to be a broken game, and until they fix it and the draft class bug is fixed, you know, we'll just have to continue playing these older games and kind of making videos out of them. I am at 96 subscribers at the time of making this video, and so I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and that is a very big goal that I had in mind when I started this channel. So I appreciate any of you that watch this and enjoy the content. I am still going to be getting used to live commentary because that is the approach that I want to bring to the channel now. For the longest time I did post commentary. It just takes way too much time, so I want to begin to do live commentary. So, you know, sometimes it's going to be hard. I don't know if I should talk enough, if I'm talking enough, or I should stop talking so much like I'm doing right now. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I will see you guys at the next screen. So here we are in Ben Jones's apartment. You have plenty of things. You have the mirror you could go look at. That's available after the NFL draft. You can go online. You can look at the schedule, the city map. You can look at your cell phone, rookie handbook, and then you go back to your web. So let's go look at the schedule here and see what we need to complete in the upcoming weeks. So the first event here is we're going to be signing an agent, and there are plenty of people to look at here. Right off the bat, a lot of guys here that have negative egos. You don't want somebody like that. I think the guy I'm going to take is Pablo Fuentes. He is a consummate professional at the top of his game and expects the same from his clients. That's who we're going to take. And he's not interested in me. So maybe we'll have to take somebody like Bob Allen. And he's not interested in signing at the moment. So we just have to find another person. Let's go ahead with Jesse Spinks. He's not interested. Maybe we have to go with Jimmy Powers. And we're going to hire Jimmy Powers as our agent. So there you go. You're not just going to be able to pick who you want to be your agent. They have to be interested in signing to be your agent. So next thing we'll do here is we're going to start our afternoon interview and see what this consists of. The question is from Rich Eisen. He says, do you think you'll end up where you want to go? And I'm going to say, it doesn't matter. I'll do my best wherever I go. And then he says, what can you contribute to a football organization? Responsibility, work ethic, and a desire to win. I don't even have to read the other ones. Once you get drafted, what's your next step? We're going to go to training camp and get ready for the season. What are the goals that you would like to accomplish while playing in the NFL? Win a Super Bowl. Okay, bye. That's all he says. Okay. So we're going to do one of these individual workouts here. I don't know what this really consists of. We're going to do ground attack though, and we'll see how we do for the first time before we get into the combine. All right, so it's going to be a workout with the Jets here. Gosh, man, this is a big running back. Let's try and get him with the spin move. Stay in bounds, touchdown. So obviously in Madden now, they brought back mini games. They are pretty fun, but it's not as fun, and it somehow doesn't really feel that nostalgic, if you ask me. I think the goal with Ben Jones here is to try and just outrun everybody because his juke is not that good, and the juke move is not as efficient as it is in NCAA 06, and Ben Jones is very slow. There's a touchdown for Ben Jones. Trying to outrun him to the edge. Ben Jones hurdles a guy, and he's tackled down at the 5 when we picked up bronze. Love to try and pick up, I don't know how to stiff arm. Can we get one last touchdown? Maybe it'll put us up to silver. It's not going to put us up to silver. Maybe we can get it here. And we will finish with bronze. Not really a great showing. Ben Jones, I didn't realize, I didn't really look at the build. 5'8", 255. I said that's fine, but man, he looks short and stocky. All right, so we got +1 to our awareness. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't have enough space on my memory card, so I can't really save this at the moment. So we'll just continue without saving. We'll look at the schedule again here. So that was an individual workout. We're not going to do another one of those, and we've already done an interview. So next is the IQ test. Hopefully I didn't just skip past the NFL Combine. I don't believe I did, but let's hope I didn't. All right, so there are 10 questions, and you have 90 seconds to complete as many questions as you can. What's ironic is I had actually recorded this video once, but I did not have my mic plugged in, so I had to scrap the footage, and I got an 8 out of 10 on a last IQ test. So we'll see how we do here. True or false? 2 of these equal 9 points. Safety, touchdown, extra point. That is true. Which word is most closely the synonym of augury? I think I did this before. I'm going to go with luck this time. Which word doesn't belong? Car, truck, bicycle. I'm going to go with bicycle because it's got 2 tires versus 4. The word most closely opposite of veracity is... I don't even know how to pronounce some of these words. Jerry is 12 years old. He is twice as old as his sister Sally. How old will Sally be in 3 years? Should be 9 years old. Cold is to scouting as humid is to wet. Russ is 25 years old and his sister Brandy is twice as old. When Russ is 31, what will the age be of Brandy? So she's 50 plus 6, 56 years old. Which word is most closely the opposite of agape? Let's go with closed. If Tiki Barber rushed for 147 yards, how many feet did he just run for? I have no idea. I know there's 3 feet in a yard, so you'd have to do 147 times 3. I couldn't tell you what the answer of that is, but let me try to do the math real quick in my head. I believe it's 441. Which of the following numbers represents the largest amount? That is going to be 0.75, right? Holy crap, 60%. So Ben Jones is an idiot. I'm not the idiot. So we're going to advance the NFL Combine. We don't need to be smart in order to be a good football player. One thing I will say is that the test that they make you do, the IQ test on the new Madden, is much easier than this one. This one has a lot of synonyms and stuff like that. Stuff that, I wasn't even good at when I was in school. How am I going to be good at it on Madden? All right, so we are going to do ground attack again because I really don't think there's any other thing that would make sense to do as a running back. So we're going to try this again, but this time we're doing it for everybody. Every NFL team is looking at us, not just the New York Jets. Speaking of the New York Jets, man, not all the time do I really kind of feel upset by an NFL player's injury because they are playing a sport that they know is physical and sometimes it happens. But man, I do feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I feel bad for New York Jets fans. Maybe he gets healthy and he comes back and plays another year next year, but this could probably be it. And it was only a few plays in a Jets uniform. They had a lot of high hopes going into this season. So I don't want to say my heart goes out to Jets fans, but you know what I mean. I hope Aaron Rodgers gets better, and I hope the fans are able to have faith in Zach Wilson. So let's get started here on our NFL Combine Day. Hopefully we can put together a better performance than we did on our individual workouts. So I'm noticing that you can use the right analog stick to do a bigger juke, and then you can use the R1 and L1 bumpers to do like kind of a quick juke, and then you have R2 and L2 to stiff arm. So I'm going to try and stiff arm here. Ben Jones is slow. Touchdown. We got to get better than bronze on this one. Ben Jones down to the 16-yard line. We do have bronze, so I don't know what it takes to get silver, but we're going to score a touchdown on that play. We're up to 1,000. There's Jones. Put that ball in your right arm, and he didn't get in. So we're still at the 1-yard line. Ben Jones, get in the end zone. He's not going to be able to score. And we're going to walk in the end zone with no time remaining. We put up a silver. Hopefully that's enough for a team to consider taking us in the draft. So we got a +1 to our agility. Our agility's up to an 88. So for his size, he's actually a pretty agile running back. So that's pretty cool. We'll continue without saving, and then we will go to the NFL draft. We are here for the NFL draft. The draft will go on like this. There's no way to kind of fast forward it. So I will see you guys when we eventually get taken. It's funny, I just saw D'Amico Ryans get drafted in the second round. He's now an NFL head coach. So that's just pretty cool. And we were taken by the San Francisco 49ers in round 3, pick 20. So to be taken in the third round is actually pretty solid. Like I said, I had done this before, and I was taken in the third round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was a left outside linebacker. That would have been pretty cool to be on there because I was excited to get drafted by the Steelers, which is my favorite team. But like I said, my mic wasn't plugged in. Had to scrap the footage. So that's kind of a quick look here at NFL Superstar. We can take a deeper look at it if we were to eventually do a series, as this is pretty cool. This is the San Francisco city skyline here, and you can take a look at things you can go to. You can go to the barber shop so we can get a haircut real quick. This is something I always thought was pretty cool here. So we can go with blonde hair, and I like the afro, so that's going to be what we go with. Number 47 too. That's an ugly number for a running back. You tell me one running back in the NFL right now that's wearing number 47. I have no idea. You can also go to the tattoo parlor, which you can't get tattoos in the Madden games now. The tattoos aren't the greatest here on this game, but it's still pretty cool to be able to get a tattoo. This is an EA Sports tattoo. That is hideous, but we're going to put that on our right arm. And then you can go to the mirror here. This was something that we were looking at earlier, we were unable to do. Let's change the jersey number down to number 22. I like that number. I'm going to deck this guy out real quick, show you kind of what you can put on your player. So back in Madden 07, you were able to put the mouthpieces in. They didn't add this back to Madden until like Madden 22. And I know a lot of Madden players were dying to have this brought back. Eventually they did, but the fact that it took so long and this was something that used to be in the game is ridiculous. So here you can actually edit the way the player looks if you play on turf or grass. So that's pretty cool. That you can add the turf tape when you're playing on turf, and you can take it away when you're playing on grass. So you can deck your player out pretty good, and That's what Ben Jones is going to look like. We're actually going to get out of NFL Superstar mode now, and we're going to go take a look at the franchise mode, and we'll get into a game once we get into the franchise mode as well. So we are actually just going to do a franchise with Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now this is Madden 07, so this was the year that the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 40, I do believe. 2006 would have been the year. As a matter of fact, no, I think it would have been Madden 06 would have had the Pittsburgh Steelers team that beat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40. But nonetheless, here we are with my favorite team in franchise mode. Let's take a look at what franchise mode has to offer. Obviously, you have the mini games, which, you know, everybody has an idea of now, so there's really no reason to take a look at it due to the fact that everybody is aware that it's now in today's Madden. And if you didn't play the PS2 Maddens, you can get a feel for what it's like, although not as nostalgic, on Madden 24. Here you have the newspaper, and you can look at the world, the country-wide newspaper, or you can look at the local newspaper once it eventually loads. So here's the national newspaper, as this is going to have its USA Sports Today as well, is what the newspaper is, and it will have different articles that you can take a look at. And you just click X, and then you can just look at the stories that it has. Or you can take a look at the local newspaper, which, since we're playing with the Steelers, is the Pittsburgh Voice, and you can go on here and you can look at the articles that they have on here. Pretty cool stuff. You can look at your email as well, so you can go on here and it will kind of tell you what you need to look at. So it'll tell you about the USA Today, it'll tell you about training camp, the GM sends you an email about the new season and practice, and then Coach Cowher here with the game plan. So this will be the game plan for, I do believe, our first preseason game. And you can go through here and move the right analog stick, and you can look, what is Bill Cowher's philosophy here? He likes to establish the run and shut down the run. So, you know, that's Pittsburgh Steelers football. It's pretty accurate if you ask me. So I'm going to go ahead and skip training camp so that we can get into the preseason and see what other options are available to us. First thing you got up here, obviously, is play week, and that literally just takes you straight to the game. It takes you to the weekly schedule, team schedules, and your standings are also on the play week tab. We're not going to play any preseason games, so we don't have to worry about looking at play week yet. But here is the game plan tab. So right here is where you would establish your weekly game plan, which Madden brought back in like Madden 20 or Madden 21, made you believe that it was something that was new when it's always been in the older games. And then you can look at the statistical breakdown and the positional breakdown of your opponent. Let's take a look at the statistical breakdown. And we actually can't see anything yet because nobody's played a game yet, but it will tell you what kind of approach does your opponent bring to the game. And that is just really cool stuff. The fact that you don't even see that. If you do see it, you see a small glimpse of it in the newer Maddens. It's not as deep as it was in Madden 07 or the other PS2 Maddens. So here on the My Team tab, you can go through and you can modify uniform if you wanted to. So I could change the home uniform, and we can create new, and we could change what our home uniform is throughout the year. And so that it's already, I actually didn't even know you could do this. You can create a completely new uniform. That's something that you just cannot do in the Maddens today. I mean, as a matter of fact, you can't even create a team in the Maddens today. They have pre-made teams that aren't even fun. And that's just very cool if you ask me. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the regular season and see if more things become available to us. So as this simulates very, very slowly, I don't have an emulator. This is actually hooked up to my PlayStation 2, put in OBS, and I do have an HDMI adapter, so hopefully it looks somewhat good, but the simulating is going to be extremely slow since I don't have an emulator. But you know, as I simulate here, the other things that this game has is the scouting is actually, in my opinion, deeper than it is in today's, because you can play a Senior Bowl at the end of the season, so you can actually play a game with these prospects before you decide you want to draft them. You might like the way that a prospect's draft profile looks, but you may actually get into game action and not like the way that they feel when you're playing with them. So that's just really cool stuff. And the draft profile is actually pretty deep in this game. I'm going to try and get into the scouting aspect and show you what a draft profile would look like. But I also want to get into a game and not have to simulate all the way through the season, because I will be sitting here for 30 minutes if I have to do that. So we're going to go ahead and advance to the regular season. We went 3-1 in the preseason, but I'm not really here to look at the preseason stats. All right, so now that we are in the regular season, you'll notice that one thing that has become available to us is the owner's box. So if you take a look at the owner's box, this is something that gets pretty interesting, because if you are, somebody that's interested in doing stuff like sports marketing and stuff like that, sports managing, this is pretty cool stuff right here. You can change the prices around of everything, like the parking. So grass parking, you could, if you wanted to, you could be very, very, a ripoff, I guess, with a $34 parking in grass. That's kind of a weird number as well, because who's carrying around a 20, a 10, and 4 $1 bills? But this is just cool, the fact that you can change all of this stuff. I mean, valet parking's $50, and for $16 less, you only get grass parking. So you can change this all around, from merchandise, concessions, ticket prices, advertising, and then that right there is only the prices. You can take a look at the information here, and you can take a look at what the attendance is like throughout the entire season. You can go by game, by season, and I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can also look at throughout the entire franchise what your attendance has looked like. So you can go to stadium info and you can work on upgrades. I don't know how to do it, but I know you can work on upgrades, and you can look at city info here, and it'll tell you, is your city growing or is it not growing? It'll also tell you what the average income is, and then you can base that on what you would want to put your ticket prices as. I mean, this is pretty cool stuff. You can look at the average high of September is 74 degrees, 54 is the average low, and you can look at the average high and the average low of December. I mean, this is cool stuff to look at. You can get real deep into this franchise mode, and as a matter of fact, I do believe that this is probably much better than today's franchise mode. So I am seriously considering it right now of potentially doing a franchise mode here on Madden 07 on the PlayStation 2. It would not be with the Pittsburgh Steelers though. It would be with a different team, and a team that I've actually already thought about doing one with. I won't announce it yet, just in case I never do plan on doing one, but I have thought about it. So I'm going to be simulating up to week 5, and we're going to get into a game against the San Diego Chargers. They are here in Madden 07, and then we'll see if scouting has become available, because I want to take a look at scouting, and then we'll get into a game, and then from there we'll be wrapping up the video. So I am looking around here, and I have not actually been able to find where the scouting section is. Maybe it doesn't become available until a certain point in the season. So after I play this game, I'll simulate a little bit more and see if I can find it. But it is kind of odd that it has not become available for me to take a look at yet. But nonetheless, I do want to get into a game here against San Diego Chargers and show you guys what the gameplay looks like. So here we are taking our first look at the gameplay here in Madden 07. It's Sunday Night Football against the Chargers. We're going to be playing a 3-minute quarter game, so not going to be a very long game. We're also playing on All Pro, just because on All Madden you're forced to play with the vision cone, and that's something that I have not used. I'm not used to it. So I want to put together a game that's actually enjoyable for you guys to watch. If we're using the vision cone, it's probably not going to be that enjoyable. We pick heads, and the Chargers will pick to kick the ball to us, and we will start with the football. So Ike Taylor is the return man, and it's going to be pretty fun to play a game here with these throwback Steelers players, guys I haven't seen in a long time, and like I said, they are my favorite team. So yeah, this has to be the year after the Steelers defeated the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40, because there is no Jerome Bettis. It's just Willie Parker, and that's who we're going to give the football to, and he loses his helmet on the first play. That is a feature that a lot of people wish that they would bring back, but unfortunately, the NFL will just not allow it, as that is a pretty cool play to begin this gameplay off with. So eventually you guys will see what kind of thumbnail I've come up with, but I cannot spend all day trying to come up with a thumbnail or I will go insane. So first down and 10 here, we're going to try and hit Heath Miller across the middle. That was Big Ben's top target, if I had to say so myself, watching him growing up. It was either him or Hines Ward, but I think you probably have to give the edge to Heath Miller. Such a reliable tight end, one of the best of his time. We're going to give this one to fast Willie Parker, and he's got himself a first down. We're going to go with the play action boot again. This is something that the Steelers, have been so good at in their time. Can we get back to running the ball and being consistent with running the football, and then going play action off of it? As we go to Cedric Wilson, he's pushed out at the 15-yard line. This is on All Pro, like I mentioned earlier. And the last video that I made, which like I said earlier, I was unable to actually use because I forgot to plug my microphone in. I tried to run the screenplays a couple of times. It really didn't work that well, so we're going to try it here. And we're going to get out to Hines Ward. It's a race to the pylon, and he is in. Touchdown, Steelers. Touchdown, Hines Ward. So it worked that time. A great block by Heath Miller out there on the edge. It would be so fun to do a franchise with the Pittsburgh Steelers here on Madden 07. It would be a blast. So we're off to a good start. In the last video that I made, I don't think I scored anything other than a field goal. So we're off to a good start as we speak. Here's Darren Sproles on the return. The little man is tackled down at about the 30-yard line, I do believe. So the Steelers with their traditional 3-4 here, that's what we're going to rock. And this era of defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers was really good. I don't think that it was its prime yet, but this is the era that I remember so fondly. Casey Hampton up the middle and the corners on the edge, who I want to take a look at, Deshae Townsend, and it should be Ike Taylor, but now we're caught in coverage out here, so we're going to have to go user. Works out pretty well. So although I would have been 6 years old, 7 years old when this era of Steelers football was going on, these are the players that I remember growing up and just had a blast watching. A defense that was so dominant, and a defense that was able to stay together for quite a while. 3rd down and 2 here. Let's go with a blitz. You know the Steelers love to go with their blitzes on 3rd downs. And then you have Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu at his safety positions. So we're stuck using Aaron Smith here. Throw out to the fullback, and it's a great play on the edge. Should be Joey Porter that made that play. 4th down upcoming. So there's the hang time thing that they had in the gameplay. So you can see about how long the ball is up in the air for. It's going to be a touchback. I don't know what everybody's still running for. I guess they have to touch it in the end zone before the refs will rule it a touchback. So we're going to go with a halfback draw here on 1st down, and Willie Parker's going nowhere. So the running game, not really working out so far. We've had to pass the ball more, and I've actually been pretty successful at it so far. Here we go. We're going to go to Cedric Wilson across the middle, and he catches it. Ben Roethlisberger is being very efficient so far. As this is a pretty cool add to the presentation here. As the presentation, the gameplay is pretty decent. The graphics are whatever, but it's the presentation that beats today's Maddens. You have things pop up like stats throughout the game, and it's something like that as well. You just really don't see it. Madden today is very bland, and that's just unfortunate for it being the newest Madden available, and it still does not compete with a game made in 2006. So we're going to go to Hines Ward across the middle. I didn't see the linebacker, Edwards, and he's tackled down at the 39-yard line. Big Ben with his first interception. So that is my fault. That's a bad play. Here's the run with LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the best running backs of my generation. Or I should not say of my generation, I should say of that generation. LaDainian Tomlinson, way older than I am. As that's the end of the first quarter. Phillip Rivers, the quarterback here in San Diego. I forgot to mention that. So there's Phillip Rivers on the drop back, as you can take a look at his vision cone. He's got a bigger vision cone since he is a higher overall quarterback and his accuracies are better. But if you had a low overall quarterback with low accuracies, the vision cone would be smaller. It's pretty challenging to use if you've never used it before. And then Rivers just couldn't get rid of the ball there, and Aaron Smith comes in and picks up the sack. So now it's 3rd down and long. So 3rd down and 14, Rivers drops back. He's going to the one-on-one coverage, and it's going to be a touchdown for the San Diego Chargers. Perfect pass from Phillip Rivers. He's got the visor on, and perfect. Chargers tie it up. So there's the NFL ticker down below. It's not as good as today's Maddens, but you can kind of get a look at the scores as they go on in this era of Maddens. And the presentation on this game also is not as good as like NFL 2K5, but it is, like I said, better than today's Madden. And that's really the only thing that matters because that's the only game that it's competing with. We're going to try and use Roethlisberger's legs, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards. So we're trying to stay consistent with the run here because I'm going to try and set up another play-action play. Looks like Hines Ward's going to be double covered on the right side, so we may look to try and hit Heath Miller. We tried to, but we were hit as we threw it, as Big Ben looks beat up. So we're going to try and go with a slant route here. And this is covered up all the way. So almost picked off. We're going to have to punt the ball away to the Chargers. Hang time there, about 4.2 seconds, and that gave our kick coverage plenty of time to get down there and tack the speedy Darren Sproles. So there's a look at the presentation there. Offensive production, it gives you how many plays each team has run, the yards, and the time of possession. Things you just don't see in today's Madden. The only time you see time of possession now is when you look at the team stats at the end of the game. Other than that, you're never going to see what the time of possession has been throughout the game, or how many plays each team has run, or what their total offense is. I guess you see the total offense, but it's so slight as it's up above at the score ticker. It's not right there on the screen for you to look at. So here's the give to Tomlinson. He's going to pick up a couple yards. The Steelers defense is ferocious at stopping the run. And, we saw what the philosophy of Bill Cowher was. Stop the run and run the ball yourself. So we're going to try and run the ball in the second half and kind of follow the philosophy of Bill Cowher. As Rivers drops back with the big vision cone, throws it out to the edge, and it's nearly intercepted by James Harrison, and Polamalu almost came in and took it on the bounce. And we muff the punt, and we don't pick it up. So what's funny is I was just watching some Madden 08 gameplay on the PlayStation 2, and if you don't fair catch and there's a defender right in front of your face, for some reason, your guy's just not going to catch the ball. He's going to muff it 9 times out of 10. So it's very important to call for the fair catch. I actually couldn't even user my punt return guy, so I was unable to call for the fair catch, and now the Chargers have the football with 1.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Here's Rivers. He's going to throw this one out to the edge, and he almost throws another interception. He hasn't thrown one yet, but he should have thrown his third just now to Joey Porter. And I'm not talking about Joey Porter Jr. I'm talking about his father, who was a very dominant player on the Pittsburgh Steelers teams in the late 2000s. As Tomlinson is stopped by Troy Polamalu, and the linebacker Larry Foote cleans it up. Or James Ferrier, my fault. Time is ticking. Rivers drops back. He's got a clean pocket. He scrambles, but he's sacked. 4th down upcoming, and it's Aaron Smith with his second sack of the game. We're not going to call a timeout yet. We're going to let the Chargers waste the clock if they want to, and then we will call timeouts when we are on offense. So they're going to punt the ball away, and we're actually going to let this one bounce, and hopefully it rolls into the end zone, but it bounces backwards. You just don't... In the older Maddens, as time had went on, eventually they put in where you could do a backspin on your punts, and then you could get it to not just go directly into the end zone. Apparently in Madden 07 here, it could bounce back like that, and you didn't have to put any special spin or anything on it. It just probably depended on what your punter's overall was. So here's Santonio Holmes out there in the slot. We're going to try and get the ball to him. This is a play action, and that's intercepted, and that's Edwards' second interception. He's going to score, and the Chargers are going to take the lead. Donnie Edwards, 10 years in the pros, and he's got 2 interceptions, one of them for a touchdown. So they're going to squib this one away, and it's going to be a penalty because they kicked it out of bounds. So we're actually going to have the ball in pretty decent field position, so we could attempt to try and get a field goal out of it. I'm going to go ahead and ask Madden here because I just do not know the playbooks. And I want to try and pick up some yards here. We have the ball at the 40-yard line. If it's man defense, you'd love to go to Wilson on that post route, or the corner route, I should say. But we're actually going to go to Holmes across the middle, and he just threw his 3rd interception, and it's to Donnie Edwards again. That right there just seems like it was a really good play by Donnie Edwards because Holmes was open. Edwards just jumped in front of the route. So with 4 seconds left, looks like the Chargers are going to go with the Hail Mary. Rivers drops back. He's going to get it down to about the 5-yard line, and it is incomplete. And that is going to do it for the first half. There is no big halftime presentation in these Maddens, I don't believe. So I'm pretty sure it will just pause the game for you. You can take a quick break. You hit resume game, and you're right back into the game. So there's a look at the total offense. We had pretty much all of our yards on our first drive of the game. Other than that, we have done nothing with the football. We've thrown 3 interceptions and really haven't tried to run the football. So Chargers with a first down, and if they score a touchdown here with the fact that there's only like 5.5 more minutes left in the game, they could run the clock out and not give us enough time. Big Antonio Gates in motion. Speaking of Antonio Gates, his son plays on the Michigan State Spartans football team. If you know me, I'm a Michigan fan. I cannot stand Michigan State. What do you guys think of the current situation that's going on at the university? Head football coach is a part of a scandal at the moment. I'm not really going to speak on the details of it. You can look it up yourself. But he has been dismissed as the head football coach. And what do you guys think of what's going on there? Michigan State, not a very good school. So you can also take a look at what this drive has looked like. 4 plays, 12 yards, 1:07 long. I'm pretty sure they do not show that in Madden 24. So Rivers drops back here on 3rd down. He's throwing this one to Woods, and he's got it down to about the 14-yard line to Shea Townsend in coverage. That's the 2nd time that Rivers has connected on the deep ball. 2 of his 4 completions have been on the deep ball. 4 for 10, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. LaDainian Tomlinson really hasn't done anything on the ground today, as there's McCardle down to the 1-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier in the game. So my bet is they're probably going to give the football to LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, what else would you do? You have one of the best running backs in the game, and he's going to score a touchdown. The Chargers take a 21-7 lead. Obviously, they still need to make the PAT, but I'm sure they will. LT with the dark visor. They don't have his face mask in this game, but they did in the later ones. So if I were to do a franchise or an NFL superstar mode, I would probably play on all pro to start and then adjust if I needed to. And I would probably just do 5-minute quarters, nothing more, just because I think 5-minute quarters would give you an opportunity to have pretty good stats as the ball's on the ground, and it's eventually picked up by our fullback Dan Kreider. But before that happened, I was trying to say like 5-minute quarters I think would give you enough time to get stats that could match the simulated stats. Probably not play the play count, but at least the yardage and everything like that. So I would probably just do standard 5 minutes. There's a look at the play count right there with 3-minute quarters. So you can do the math and take a look about how many it would have if you had 5-minute quarters. Let's try and stay committed to the run. I don't think it's really going to work out that well. Another thing as well, I think that we were doing much better trying to pass from these single back formations. So we're going to go play action here. We're going to try and get this one to Hines Ward on the comeback route, and he's got it. So Hines Ward with 3 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. We'll see what we can do here. We might try to hit Morgan on the outside on another comeback route. We probably could have. And that was a Big Ben-esque play there. So the vision cone popped up. I don't know. I think I was the one that triggered it by hitting the right analog stick because I thought I could highlight my player up the field. I must be mistaken. 14 seconds, though. We need to try and hurry up and get a couple more plays off in the quarter. We're going to try and get this one to Tuman, and he drops it. So it pays to have players that have good ratings and good catch ratings, because there you go. You got your second tight end on the field, and he drops it. We're going to scramble out with Big Ben. Big Ben's actually got some wheels in the older Maddens, as he was actually not as slow as he was before he retired. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. We're driving on the field. We're going to try and make this a competitive game. So it pays to have a quarterback with a little bit of wheels. You don't need the fastest guy in the world like a Michael Vick, but if you can get a little bit of speed, it does help. As there's the 4th interception. I don't know how to avoid them at this point. It's just like today's Maddens and the fact that the defense is stingy. Maybe you have to adjust the pass coverage. So there's a look at the season average for the Chargers on offense, 104 yards today compared to their 236 average on the season. As here's LT's, he's going to pick up a couple of yards. As that's something you don't see in the newer Maddens. I mean, they just showed what the team's average is throughout the season and what they have in today's game. I'm pretty sure they don't show that in Madden 24. So I'm going to attempt to sell out and stop the run here. Got to think that's probably what they're going to do. And I'm pretty sure we just jumped off sides. Yes, we did. Brett Kiesel. Towards the end of his career, he was known for his beard, the Fear the Beard. And I'm not talking about Fear the Beard Harden. I'm talking about the original Fear the Beard Brett Kiesel. There's the give to Tomlinson. He picks up a couple of yards. We need to get a stop here in order to have any sort of chance. So there's a look at our average in yardage. 231 is our average on the season. We have 115 today. Obviously, quarter length is down to 3 minutes. So that's the 2-minute warning. I would love to get the football back at least one more time so that I can redeem myself for all the interceptions that I've thrown. I'd love to get one more touchdown, as based on my first drive, I thought I was going to have a pretty good game. So if I had to guess, I would guess that they're going to try and run the ball again here on third down. They may pass, and if they do pass, I'm going to probably be burnt. If they don't, Tomlinson will be tackled down, and we're not going to use our timeouts yet, but we will once we get the football back. So we have 47 seconds. We have the football at the 20-yard line. We're going to go 80 yards here to try and score a touchdown, and hopefully just not throw interceptions. We're going to try and get this one over the head of the defender. We cannot. So second down upcoming. I'm going to stay here in this same bunch formation. I'm going to try and get the ball to Willie Parker on a halfback screen here and see how it works here in these games. We saw the wide receiver screens. How does the halfback screen work? All right, we get it out to Parker. We have blockers. Parker has the speed to make some noise if he has the blockers. So there's about 30 seconds left. We'll use our timeouts when we need to, but Ben Roethlisberger with 4 interceptions, that's not good. We're just going to scramble with Ben, try and pick up the first down, at least get out of bounds with 21 seconds left. We'll probably have to use our timeouts after every single play now. So this game is actually a lot more challenging than I initially thought. Like I said, we are an all-pro, so I can promise you that we'll not be playing on all Madden if we decided to do a series. But I'm going to try and go deep here to Santonio Holmes, try and user him here. Not going to work. There's 1 second left, but that is going to do it for this game. So I'll see you guys back at the main franchise menu. I'm going to try and simulate just a little bit more to see if I can get scouting to appear because I wanted to show you guys that real fast. So we're actually taking a look here at the ending scene here, as this is what we see on Madden 07. Everybody's fired up for the Chargers. The Steelers are disappointed. And then you have your Madden Challenge points pop up. And that's pretty much the end of the game. From there, you know how it is. You can look at the team stats, player stats. I don't know if you're able to look at highlights. No, you're not. But it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's get to the main franchise menu and move on. So I have simulated all the way up to week 13 here. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are... Let's take a look at the standings here. Like I said, the loading is very long. So we're 6-5. We've went through 11 games. I still don't see the scouting feature. Therefore, I'm going to have to cut this video off. I'm pretty sure it's something that actually does exist. You may just have to wait until the offseason to get there, which is a little unfortunate, but it leaves you with no distractions. You can focus on the season throughout the season, and then you can focus on scouting once the season is over. You don't want to focus on scouting while you're still trying to play a regular season and compete for a playoff spot. So it does make sense just a little bit, but it's unfortunate because I don't have the time to simulate the rest of this season, go through the playoffs, and then hit the offseason. I just don't have enough time for it. I've been recording for about an hour and 18 minutes. So if I do decide to do a Madden 07 franchise series, then we'll check it out then. If not, Soft Drink TV has a very good video all about Madden 07 and the old PS2 Maddens. And so you can take a look at it there, and there's plenty of guys like Miles Dawkins who plays the old PS2 Maddens who has been through off seasons plenty of times. So you can take a look at those as well. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys are interested in me doing a series here on Madden 07, whether it be franchise or superstar mode, just let me know. And if you guys are interested in NCAA 06 being a series on the channel, let me know on that video or this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.